Hey, what's up, everyone? I am back for another podcast. This will be my third recording in basically 24 hours. So, I'm not sure if that's good. Part of me is like, well, maybe I should, be more consistent and not so, all in one go. But another part of me is like, why not? What's the problem? That's how I wrote my book. That's how I do pretty much everything. So I might as well do the podcast that way and just say stuff until I feel like I said enough and I don't really need to say anymore because it's all there, all documented and available for anyone who feels like it. So I'm just going to keep recording whenever I feel like it. Let's see. So yesterday, for some reason, I found the Book of Runes, and I was looking for my Runestones, and I found them, and I pulled one. And yesterday I said, well, if it's this one that I open it to, I don't know. Where is it? It looks like F there was. I'll look this way. 96 or one. I don't know. Whatever. It's not what I pulled. I pulled the 20 of the Viking ruins, assuming this is listed in some order that is intentional. I pulled the number 20, the Journey Stone. Let me pull this up here so I can see what I'm seeing. Alright. Looks like an R. Journey. A journey riding carriage refers to the soul after death. A journey charm. Okay, let's see. I'm just gonna read this. Journey. Communication. Union. Reunion. Yesterday also, for whatever reason, I opened to something about Odin. And it was talking about how one rune. What the fuck? Basically would be enough to explain, have all the impacts needed by that one rune. Something, I don't. Let's go. I lost the page, fuck. 131. Journey. Oh, it's called Raido. Raido. This rune is concerned with communication, with the attunement of something that has two sides, two elements, and with the ultimate union that comes at the end of the journey, when what is above and what is below are united and of one mind. Great book, by the way. I love this book. What is above and what is below are united and of one mind. Inner worth mounts here, and at such a time you are not intended to rely entirely upon your own power. Instead, ask what constitutes right action. Ask through prayer or meditation, through addressing the witness self, the teacher within, all caps. Once you are clear, italicized, once you are clear, You can neutralize your refusal to let right action flow through you. Not intent on movement, be content to wait. While you wait, keep on removing resistances. As the obstructions give way, all remorse arising from trying to make things happen disappears. The journey is towards self-healing, self-change, and union. You are concerned here with nothing less than unobstructed, perfect union. But the union of heaven and earth cannot be forced. Regulate any excesses in your life. Material advantages must not weigh heavily on this journey of the self towards the capital S self. Stand apart even from like-minded others. The notion of strength in numbers does not apply at such a time, for this part of the journey, the soul's journey, cannot be shared. Another of the cycle ruins, Rado, carries within its form the ruin of joy, for now the end is in sight. You are no longer burdened by what you've left behind. Heaven above you and earth below you unite within you to support you on your way. A simple prayer for the soul's journey is, I will to will thy will. Such a prayer of intention is proper on any occasion and is particularly appropriate as a preamble to healing. I will to will thy will. Interesting. Okay. So that's what I pulled from my Runestones. Not as cool as other people's Runestones who are handmade gemstones. Different gemstones that are handmade and painted and awesome looking and etched by hand also. Oh. So, but they're cool though. I like these ones. I got them from a bookstore. I'm pretty sure this came as a pack from a bookstore. I want to say somewhere random I was traveling. Probably where I got the tarot book. Which I got a tarot deck. I lost my tarot deck. And I just was like, fuck it. Let me look. Looked. Oh, bye now. Done. Delivery tomorrow. Fuck yeah. Let's go. So, what's up? What should I talk about? So today I biked, I think like 12 miles. I'm at like 90 for the week. That's pretty good. Although I missed like 20 of them in the app, which sucks because I'm not going to make 100 on the app, even though I made 100, which is pretty good for the week, assuming I bike like 12 miles tomorrow. Which I probably will, and maybe even today I'll bike some more, because that's what I do on the weekend, is bike like 3 times, although right now I'm podcast recording, so maybe I won't have all that time to do them, just constantly be like, because what I do is I get home, I'm like, I need to move. I need to do something and just be like, it's kind of like alone time, really. Just go out and like think and process things. And then sometimes the miles go up a lot when it's almost like a direct correlation of miles to how much I'm like lost in thought during the rides. I need to drink some water. Okay, let me not hold off just because I'm recording. Okay. So what should I talk about? I still don't have a title for the show. I was thinking my thoughts with Steve Scully, my perspective with Steve Scully. The thing about one of those is they're very like generic. and able to just kind of be what this show, what it seems to be becoming, is just me expressing my thoughts. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I mean, I know I want to express my thoughts, but now that I'm starting, I'm like, well, that's really what I want to do on the podcast, is to actually just verbalize my thoughts, because I need to get them out. I just got to, guys. I just got to. I'm just like bursting at the seams here. Today is your day. Reminded again by this Dove wrapper for some chocolate. Dove chocolate. Dove makes chocolate and soap. Probably other things. Alright. Anyway. All I had in mind was to do the reading. And now I've done the reading. I didn't really analyze the reading. I never know what to think. I just kind of want to do those. Initially, I was kind of like, whoa, that's crazy. Like, this applies, and this is telling me things. And then, like, it wasn't. Like, nothing was actually applicable to the future in the way that it seemed up front while doing the readings. So I kind of learned to be a little more cautious and pretty much not put any weight in them. They're just more for fun and for encouraging thoughts, stimulating, a different form of stimulation of the mind. Especially those ones, because it's just this book is very much like all is one, God is everything. There's like the self, the individual, lowercase s, and then the self, which is the all, which is God in essence. It's good. And it kind of demonstrates how there's truth in everything, but there's not like absolute truth in one thing anywhere. Like there's only truth dispersed throughout everything. And so we can't really be like we have the truth and then refer to one thing. Like, for instance, the Bible. Like, saying it's like the Word of God is suggesting that nothing else is. But God is everything. So God speaks literally through everything. As it's not like there's any like part of everything that's like the voice of God. God is everything. But with a focused viewpoint, we can misconstrue things, which is just how it goes because we have free will. And it kind of it's really how we are able to live and experience life truly, like to have lived a life. Because if we didn't have freedom, then are we even alive? But we do have freedom because we are God. Our own personal will is the will of God. But it's also only our limited portion in a way if we're not collectively working as a single society of one people with one aim and one way underlying things, which is just that all is one. Because, for instance, people will say, myself included, that they love God. And they just demonstrate they don't by not loving specific parts. Because that's God, you know? It's all or nothing in a way. Maybe. Such a fine line, because it always brings up the like serial killers and things of that, people of that nature, in terms of their manifested action, because we're all capable of everything, because we're all God. But circumstances make us manifest as different aspects of our capabilities more observably than one, dependent on which environment within ourselves we find ourselves in. So, I don't even know what to talk about. That's a problem. It's a problem. Like, I don't have a conversation. I'm not able to access something like that right now. I mean, I can talk to people, but I don't know if you can hear that. My dad's got emphysema. It's coughing pretty bad. I'm gonna have to pause it here, because pause. Alright, I'm back. Took about a week, but I'm back. And let's see. And silence. So I'm wearing my Theory of Everything guy shirt that I made with stencils in San Diego. And that's how it goes. And then I stood on the street corners with a dry erase board and dry erase markers and invited people to sit down to a physics lecture, pretty much. I'm like, here's how infinity works, and here's how it produces magnetic fields, and therefore this is why this makes more sense than what we currently think. It was interesting, because it's like a study in physics. Okay, so I'd be standing there, not really anyone, no one's, but I was in Encinitas, San Diego, which is like a prime spot for some crazy dude to stand on a corner and teach physics. And occasionally someone would stop, and would start talking to me and asking me questions, and then maybe I'd actually start explaining things. And sometimes what I found interesting was like the times like one person would stop would be pretty common, but then the frequency that like many people stopped was like exponentially higher once there was already one person, and then maybe two people. Like in certain instances, I'm sitting on a street corner talking my own physics interpretations, and there's like at least 10 people like circling. And what's interesting, so it's kind of like a gravitation thing. Like once there's more people observing, more people are more readily able to come in, because there's actually more like of a tug, I say. That's kind of how I interpret it. Like when it's just me, it's not much of a tug. At least what I got. But I just found that interesting, because it was definitely, if you watch like birds, the way they'll position themselves, if you walk towards them, they'll fan out in like an arc shape, like distancing themselves, like in a, which is basically like fields interacting, like finding the position that is most like stable for them. And if you get too close, they'll fly off. They'll just fly off, and that's just how it goes with birds. I guess it works both ways. But that happens with physics though. So what's interesting is when I would like present the model on street corners, people were like, I see. And the thing is they're typically just like, I don't want to paint things a certain way that may be untrue, but the general person is not like well acquainted with observations in physics and why we think the things we think. In terms of physics, they're just like generally aware of the ideas that are like the interpretation. So like the Big Bang, like people are generally aware of it, like things are expanding. But like in terms of the nuance, so to then bring up the nuance and then point to a different way and be like, this makes more sense because of this, it was just way more likely for people to just like understand. And I did this several times there in Encinitas. I did it at the San Diego's, I want to say zoo, not zoo, something in San Diego, where I think there's a museum there. A stretch, where the hell was that? Somewhere, some like park area that probably had museums. Anyway, but I just set it up in places like in in that park. This couple stopped, and the lady was definitely like following. And it was like she was actually interested, but the guy just kind of moved on, so they moved along. But there's times when I'm like, people see. So like, since I last recorded my podcast, I hung out over at Jack's house, and Reed and Paul were there, and we ended up playing music. I suck at it, but they're good. and it's a good experience. I'm trying to learn. Besides the point, and I was real high. Hit the bong twice. Walk in, hit a bong. Thank you. Well, thank you, sir. Why don't I pack that? So pack the bong, pass it around, hit bong again. And then I'm just like, whoa, I don't really know these guys. And then I get lost in this thought that I'm always in, where I don't know what's happening. Because it's just too likely that, like, I just don't know what's happening. God knows, which is, in my eyes, everyone else, you know? Like, that's kind of how I see God in some ways. Like, I'm a separate from everything else. In a way. And so sometimes I'll see things that will be like, whoa. So it started when I did acid. I might have started talking about this. I didn't actually rewatch my podcast. It's a lot of time. And I got a comment that's already like, hey man, you should do it this other way. And I think about it and I'm just like, I don't know what to do. I just want to record, you know, like, it's okay that it's not like a certain way. And my objective right now is to just record. And I think about it a lot. I'm like, should I even record? It's not like I'm just recording. I want to just state that. Like, I think about it a lot. Like, should I be doing this? But ultimately, it's right to speak my mind, I think. And, like, why else would I know all the things I know except for to share them with others? Like, why does that make me a bad person? It's so crazy. Because that's kind of what I've gone through. Like, people don't understand. Don't have much understanding, that's for sure. And maybe that's my own fault. But I didn't ask to be in this position. It just happened. I just could use some slack here. Like a break. Some kind of break. That's what I need. Something to go my way. I'm thinking about, so I bought today this wooden thing at Michael's. I went to this arts and crafts store, and I'm walking around Michael's. Feeling all like, what? And, because I wanted some kind of wood structure that had structure already, because I thought maybe there'd be something there that I'd just be like, yes, that works. And I found this, like, wooden basket, like square basket with openings, wide slits on the side, so I could basically shine light through it and then use it as like a structure to close. So what I'm thinking is, the issue with what I want to do is a double slit experiment, but with a single slit, where I just basically measure the amount of deflection caused by different metals and different widths of the same metals and different slit widths, so as to see if there's a correlation between the actual mass of the slit and the observed deflection. So, like, one of the issues I'm finding is, if I want to do a slit of two materials and compare it to a slit of two other materials, I need to make the slit so precisely the same width and along the whole length and small. Like, it can't just be like centimeter slit. It has to be really narrow, and so that makes any error that I have in the slit more pronounced, because like a tenth of a millimeter may be a 10% deviation in the slit width, and I might not even be able to tell the difference. And so what I'm thinking is another way is, rather than shining a laser through a narrow slit, I could have more of like a uniform but linear flow of light that's like many lasers, but like a large laser, where essentially I focus light towards an area and then close the two materials together, and then basically observe specific points where, okay, the light has, as I close the slit by basically moving the materials together, the light at some point, like initially it's going to still be straight and have a little bit of light like fanning off because it's deflecting that way, but the majority is going to still go straight because the width is so wide. But as I close it, then it's going to begin to basically create a wave, because it's in my interpretation, it's deflecting the particles and making a wave to a point where we can see it. And so if different materials produce different deflection amounts, the degree of the deflection changes depending on what material I use, then I could basically have like benchmark positions of how far out it needs to go, and then measure like how much width the slit even was at that point. And maybe it won't take having to go quite as narrow of a slit to actually have a measurable, hey, look at how this is actually doing something that is correlated to its mass, and this doesn't that mean it's actually dependent on the mass of the slit, and therefore we haven't considered this yet. So I got this box today, and then I got this little white picket fence also that's got that's got like wide slits through it. So it just is something. Maybe what I was thinking is maybe I could connect it to the box and use it as like a frame to I don't know to hold the metal in place. But the thing is, the metal blocks are so different. I need metal that's like consistent. But maybe I could also like, so I was thinking to focus light, I could maybe use like a roll of toilet paper. The roll. Focus the light. Or just get something that actually has like an LED light probably has something that's enough of like a straight light, because I don't want to come in at angles and going through the wide slit and going at an angle, and then like it needs to be going straight optimally. But maybe I could actually enclose the box and create like a cage where the light is within, and then all I need to do is change the metal and then close the door, in essence, of the box that the light's coming out of, and then see how it's like projected on the wall. Why was this? So I was talking to Reed, and I was telling him. So before that, I got real high and I could barely interact. And so what happens is I start to see signs in the way people are, mannerisms, body language, the way people move, words, everything starts to become like in tune with my thoughts. And it happens a lot. And I'm just saying it happens. Because I know it's not really happening too. Like, so I told him. So I felt really awkward, and we were about to go in and play music, and then, like, as much as I would like to play music, what I'd really like to do is just like talk about what the fuck's been going on. And side note, I figured out how to start to get this onto Apple Podcasts, so I'm pretty stoked about that. It should be up within a week. And the title is Steve Scully Unfiltered. I don't know how I feel, but hey, I'm going with it. There it is. Because ultimately, I just want to be honest. And that seems like... So I was thinking, whenever I have a title, I'm like, well, I want something that's broad and descriptive of what I'm actually aiming to do with this podcast. And that is to just share my thoughts. Because I feel like I have to. And you don't have to listen. In fact, you shouldn't. I want to say that. I want to say that up front. It's episode 3. I'm like 6 hours in. I don't think I've said that yet. There's definitely a level of reality that's pretty substantial and real, and we can look at it from this way and be like, shouldn't listen to him, and therefore, like, don't listen to me. But I'd appreciate it. I got something to say, that's all. And I've been preparing. It's been June 2014. See, I knew right away that I was in a position to do things in a way that I felt were representative of what I like. Not posting. I mean, I tried to publish. That's the thing. Like, not publishing through peer review. Like, I gave them my best effort. But really, like, I don't want to. It's just like a means to get it out there. But the thing is, it's through 3 reviewers who already have their own perspective. Those are very much standard models. You know, you bring a model to them that's not standard models, they're just not gonna even think about it. They'd be like, the only way that anything can be right is that it's within what we believe, with some, like, twist that we just haven't seen yet, rather than, like, going way back in time to this, like, mistake, this misinterpretation that, you know, it happens in the process of science, and we deviate from a path that's maybe towards the answer, but we can always fall back towards that path. I was honest recently, and it was good. It's good to be honest. For everyone. It's good that everyone is honest. In the long term. So I sit in silence thinking about how that's wasting time. Like I can't waste time. I can't sit in silence thinking about how I gotta fill this time by talking and like analyzing, and all in that moment like thinking about these other podcasts and how they are much more like professional, much more prepared to talk. But I feel unprepared to talk. It's just what I have to say. It takes a while. It takes a while. I have a lot to say. So I gotta get going. So let's get going. So let me tell you. So I was thinking, I don't even know if I told you this, but it would be cool if I just recorded as much as I could of my own story. And as quickly as I can, but also as detailed as I can. I probably already said like those same words too. And people like just listened to the last episode. They're like, dude. Hey, it was like a week ago. I think about what I should do on my podcast a lot, and now I'm starting to realize, well, shit, now I did it. Like, I don't know what I'm even doing anymore. Some of this shit got done, and it got like half done. Like, oh shit, I started talking about that thing, and I didn't even finish. I don't think I finished. Like, I think at some point I was talking about how relationships. So I kind of look at it from a guy's perspective as like to willingly, at least this is how I see it, and maybe that's where I fuck up. To willingly get in a relationship, I have to feel pretty confident that it's gonna like be worth it. Meaning like go forward and like maybe be the last relationship, because that's really like, what else am I doing? But I feel like women want it to be like love at first sight, like a spark. Which then makes me think, like, what is even first sight? Is it when you first see someone physically? Or what if you see their soul and it takes you a long time to see their soul, but you see it? Is that first sight? You know? And which makes me think of like different octaves or different dimensions, because that's how things are. It's an infinite spectrum of everything. Or maybe I'm just making excuses, because that's how I want things to be. I don't know, because I mean, we make our own reality, which is tough. It's tough. What a shit position to find ourselves in, where we find reinforcements for whatever the fuck we want to believe. Like, I'm thinking about doing a tarot reading. And let me tell you, I've done a lot of tarot readings in my life, all in rapid succession and across months. And it's never really accurate in the long term. And in the short term, it's interesting. And that's why I'm going to do one right now. Because I just got my cards. I lost my deck, so I ordered one, and I got them. And I know I started the video off with a Runestone reading, so I thought I'd do one in my podcast, because I just want to share stuff. Like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. If you don't want to watch, I don't even want to talk about it anymore. Like, I realized, like, I talk too much to people who aren't even interested in what I have to say. And that's not who I should even be talking to. I should be talking to the people who are there listening. So thanks, guys. Thanks, y'all. I don't know. Because, like, when I talk to someone who's not even there, the only one listening is the one listening. So they're like, you're not even talking to me. Who are you talking to? What are your insecurities? Like, they start analyzing, because that's what I do. So that's what you do, I think. Start analyzing them, like, what's up with them? What's their deal? Careful, you don't back into them and not notice until you get all right up close. Alright. Let's find a spread. How am I gonna lay these out? So I already thought about this a little bit. I'm gonna take pictures afterwards and then put them on the screen rather than anything with me. Because I wanted to do a tarot reading, and fuck anyone who thinks that pre-planning things and taking action still from that perspective is inauthentic. I'd say fuck anyone. Love it. I don't mean it like that. Okay, let's see. What are we gonna do? Past, present, future. Let's do past, present, future. 6 cards, 2 past, 2 present, 2 future. Or maybe I should just do 3 cards. This is the Ultimate Guide to Tarot by Liz Dean that I'm gonna be using as a reference for the meaning of the cards. Good book. Alright. Where you want to cut it? Here? Maybe here? Okay. How about here? Right there? Right there. Okay. I know you don't care. I don't even care. I'm just making you do this. Alright, so let's see. What's our first card? We got the 9 of Wands. Wait, let me make sure I put these down in order. That was the first past. This is the first present. It is death. It's just reality. It's just reality. Future is the 6 of Pentacles. Alright, past number 2 is 2 of Cups, and it was upside down, so let's go ahead and reverse that. And then reversed Justice, present 2, and then the Sun in the future 2. At least we end on the Sun. That sounds pretty nice. We got a death in there though. So past 1 is Wands 9. This book's awesome. Cups, Pentacles, Swords. We didn't get any swords. Nine of Wands. So this is a fire element card. Key meanings, defense, and strength. Okay, this is a first pass card. A wounded man is on the lookout. Among 8 protective wands, symbols of his resources and responsibilities, he holds a ninth tightly with both hands like a weapon. The other 8 wands are orderly, as if standing at attention, ready for any eventuality. He has positioned himself on a man-made platform which relates to his tree of life sphere, Yesod, or foundation. He has a solid base from which to operate. The platform also sets our would-be warrior away from the green hills behind him. He needs to be a little detached from society so he can better see the approach of potential opponents. And physically, this defender is not to be taken lightly. With his powerful build, he symbolizes strength and endurance. From experience, he has learned to expect challenges to his position, and his past battles are symbolized by the bandage worn around his head. This injury doesn't deter him, and he almost wears it like a bandana with pride. Which is kind of interesting, because I told someone recently that I got hit with I got hit in the head with a rock when I was I don't know, like 12, 15, in that range. Pretty young. Because I was walking to my friend's house, and he has this brilliant idea. I'll throw a rock over the house. And it hit me in the forehead. There's still a little scar bump right there. And I'm telling her. And she starts laughing. Like there's blood gushing down my head. Because I was saying, well, some things are so painful that you just don't feel them because they're numb. There's this numbing effect. And how this rock hit me in the forehead and I literally didn't even notice. What I noticed was a rock like dribbling along the sidewalk to the left of me, and then looking in front of me and seeing my reflection in the glass of the door where blood is just dripping down my face. And they laughed. So that's interesting, because I keep thinking about it. I'm like, is that okay? Is it okay? It's okay. It's okay. It's also kind of fucked up. But hey. I'm just an asshole. What the hell do I know? So, upright meaning. The upright Nine of Wands shows that you are in a very strong position. You have fought long and hard to get where you are and have endured heavy challenges, particularly in work. Being constantly vigilant and ingenious can be exhausting. However, so use your energy wisely. Plan all activities meticulously and don't overexert yourself, and you will have all the resources you need to see you through. Thankfully, as with all minor arcana cards, this influence will not last forever. You won't always need to defend yourself to this degree or make so many sacrifices. I sure hope not. Highlights the fine balance between being adequately defended and being defensive. While it's appropriate to establish and protect your boundaries, defensiveness keeps you in a negative mindset. The 9 often comes up in a reading to show a person who is fearful that his or her idea or other work will be stolen. But this is just a perception rather than reality, which is interesting. Because that's always something I have to fear because I've just put my information out there. My ideas are just out there. I publish them freely. If there's any merit in them, someone could take it and run with it, and maybe they're in a better position where they got the finances to do it. But, you know, I figure sooner or later, people are gonna be like, where did that idea come from? They're gonna be like, dur, 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 dur. You know, if anyone ever steals my shit, they're gonna be like, dur, 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 dur. That's how they'll talk about how any of my shit functions. Oh, so explain where you came up with that idea. Oh, well, that's. It can also show an unwillingness to hand in an assignment or to make your work public in some other way due to fear of rejection or criticism. Which is another issue I'm having. Like, do I even do this? Because, I mean, I'm going to get a lot of negative feedback. Like, fuck y'all. I don't mean it. I don't mean it. I don't mean it. But I'm just trying to share. Anyway, I do feel kind of that way though. And part of me is like, fuck that. I'm talking, man. I'm gonna talk, and if you listen, that's your choice. But I'm allowed to give you the choice to listen because it's a free world. I think we're free. I think we're born free. Okay, death. Wait, or should I do the past 2 is reverse cups 2. 2 of cups. Cups 2. Water element. Key meanings. Love and partnerships, old and new. A man and a woman face each other eye to eye, each offering the other a cup. Between them is a strange symbol. The Caduceus, I think it is, of Hermes and a lion's head. Caduceus, the snakes wrapped around each other. Which is interesting. I kind of think of it as like a representative of infinity and intertwined fates. I don't know. It just grow over time, you know, like the distance separation in some ways grows. I don't know. The Caduceus is a central rod entwined by 2 snakes, an ancient symbol of negotiation and balance associated with the winged Greek god, messenger god Hermes, the Roman Mercury. Which is interesting because Mercury, the planet Mercury, is very central to certain elements of my research. Where I basically am like, hey guys, this is what would happen. I'm like, hey guys, so let me show you. Let's start with Nostradamus. Okay, we're gonna start with Nostradamus. I know it's a little strange starting spot, but let's just suppose that something's here, and then let's say, well, everything can supernova because planets or stars supernova. Electron supernova, that's what we call an excited electron. Everything can blow up. Hopefully I can blow up. That'd be cool. Cause I've been doing some stuff, guys. I just need some resources. I'm gonna start a Patreon, I think. I keep thinking about ads. It comes back to this thing, like I need resources. I'm working at Lowe's, and it's good and it's useful for me, and I'm not complaining about it. It's actually been really nice lately. It's getting busier, and I'm trying to work harder. Although I've been slacking sometimes. Cigarettes are just... Just gotta be honest. Anyway. I feel like someone's listening even though I'm just recording to myself. Like I'm streaming. Cause I'm different when I stream. Okay, so cups, 2 of cups. The lion, although not given a specific meaning by the card's creator, A.E. Waite, can be interpreted as a symbol of passion and protection. The maiden is dressed in the colors of the high priestess, blue and white, while the young man wears a tunic and boots similar to those of the fool. Even the colors of his tunic, yellow, red, and black, are similar to those of the fool. The combination of the fool's meaning of beginnings and risk, along with the virginal high priestess's intuition, reveals that a brand new relationship may be in the cards. This is past, reversed. The maiden is crowned with an olive garden, while our fool sports a garland of red flowers. Together, the garlands signify success and love. Their cups tell us that they are showing their emotions, and the man's hand is reaching out towards the woman's cup, a signifier of sexual intuition, as cups are traditionally a womb symbol, just as the wand is phallic. On the Kabbalistic tree of life, the sphere associated with this card is Chakma, the sphere of wisdom, the father, and male virility. When reversed, the 2 reveals relationship stress. A new romance may turn sours as your hopes for love are disappointed, such as someone telling you never. Also, the card asks you to rely on your intuition. There may be a secret you don't yet know, and traditionally the reversed 2 can show infidelity. Although on the surface everything may appear to be ticking along, pay attention to your instincts. There's a reason for doubt, and it's time to communicate openly about any fears rather than ignore them. Generally, in established relationships, the 2 can also indicate an unavoidable glitch simply due to the ongoing stresses and strains of leading 2 busy lives. If it seems like this is the case, try to keep communicating. There may be a lack of understanding between you just now, but with work on both sides, you can rekindle your connection. Passion may be on hold just now, but it can return. Okay. I got told never recently. Can figure out the rest. So, death, present. Card 1 of present. Alternative names, mortality, transformation, sometimes unnamed. Interesting. Death's image is unmistakable. Unlike the hanged man, a common motif in the 15th century but a puzzle to use today, Death's grim reaper is eternally understood as an immutable part of our earthly existence. Triumphant with his scythe and hood, sometimes riding a horse, skeletal Death is a reminder of our human frailty. Yet death is also the bringer of necessary change and is not a sign of the physical death of a person in the present or future. He heralds the end of an era, when what is not needed is taken so the next phase can begin. Without him, we could not have clear sight of what might be possible. Such a dick. Death as the reaper brings in the harvest, which is shown by the 5 ears of corn on his standard or flag. Death as the reaper brings the harvest. Whatever is worth having will be saved, but what is irrelevant will be taken. On the Raider Waite card, Death's influence affects all people regardless of status, shown by the people on the card at various stages of death and surrender. From the bishop to the child, the king to the maiden, this is the medieval dance of death, a common subject in paintings of that era. His black armor and pale horse follow the description of death, one of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse described in the New Testament's book of Revelation. Okay, let's move on. Upright meaning. Death brings endings and beginnings, sometimes all at once. This a time of fast and deep transformation, and an opportunity to let go of whatever you no longer need. I mean, that's what it is, right? Sometimes you just gotta say, well, if that's what it is, that's what it is. Fucking interesting. Unlike card 20, Judgment, which signals a process of self-examination, death's impact is sudden and may be shocking. You have little control over external events when death looms, but in time you will be able to see this sharp change in circumstances as a blessing. A break from the past, from relationships and friendships to work that is no longer satisfying, is the only way forward. In this sense, death can be a release and a relief. Death, after all, is the ultimate reality check, and he leaves you with the bare bones, the truth. In certain areas of life, death can signify the following. Let's say relationships. A relationship ends, or there is a period of necessary separation. In friendships, there will be an opportunity to reconnect when the time is right. Alright then. Death no, that was the upright meaning. Its wisdom message is swift change brings new beginnings. Swift change. So interesting. Oh no, it's justice. Then present card 2. Damn, this is a lot of cards. My bad. How far is this? No, perfectly reasonable. Justice, alternative name adjustment. Justice is one of the simplest cards to understand at first glance. A female figure is seated between two pillars on a ceremonial podium. This is the judge, or the virtue justice personified, holding the traditional symbols of the law, an upright sword in her right hand and the scales in her left. Clad in the red robes of office, her right foot is forward and her pose is alert, as if she is about to pronounce judgment in court. Unlike traditional justice figures, Tarot's justice is not blindfolded. Her vision is clear. The card favors those who are deserving, shown by the scales of mercy, but seek retribution for the past wrongs, symbolized by the sword of retribution. Delivered through logical procedures and is focused on the mind rather than the emotions, just like the suit of the swords in the minor arcana. However, there is perhaps more to justice than meets the eye. Although Justice wears red, symbolizing the material world she lives in, the card's background is yellow for enlightenment, suggesting the guidance of a higher divine power. The card design, with a central figure between two pillars, is intentionally similar to those of card 5, the Hierophant, and 2, the High Priestess, suggesting duality and knowledge. One of the 4 cardinal or essential virtue cards of the tarot. The others are strength, temperance, and prudence. So reversed meaning. Life goes out of balance as work, relationships, and money issues spiral out of control. A decision may go against you, so there may be dishonesty or a miscarriage of justice. You are treated unfairly, which is compounded by bad advice from a trusted individual. You are not able to speak your truth and feel overruled by those who don't understand your predicament. It is important to find your voice and stay strong to your values if you are in the right. Wisdom message. With the right values, reward comes. Future. Does that mean I'm in the wrong? Then I'd be like, well, I'm in the right, so this is my chance to explain. Do some splaining. I just don't want to. I do. I want to. Does that mean I'm wrong? I mean, I'm definitely wrong, but I'm definitely right. That's a shitty spot. It's like a tie. What do you do in a tie? Tie goes the runner. I was on the offense. Saying. Six of Pentacles, future. Like the figure of card 11, Justice, interesting. The young nobleman on the Six of Pentacles holds a pair of scales, and he is dressed in red, the color of energy and practicality. His mantle is purple, the color of intuition and spirituality, and a sign that he acts in good faith. He wears a blue striped tunic. The only other pentacle card with this stripe is the 9, in which the woman shows one blue stripe beneath her robe. Both of these cards share the virtue of generosity. Our nobleman is judicious, weighing the situation with the scales of mercy in his left hand and giving out coins with his right hand. The 2 figures kneeling before him are beggars. One is wounded, wearing sackcloth and a bandage around his head. The other, young and poor, his blue cloak bearing a patch. Because of his blue, We know he is experiencing true poverty and deserves help. The men exist in a barren place beyond the city's walls and its greenery, and there's nothing to succor them. The white sky gives a feeling of uncertainty. It is not yellow and joyful, nor blue for clarity. But the wealthy man gives money regardless of what the outcome might be. 6 is the number of harmony and passivity. For the beggars, this is the ability to surrender and accept, which brings some serenity and even temporarily. The particular arrangement of the coins might be a representation of the Hebrew letter kaf on its side. Kaf means palm and what might be in the palm. In this card, the palms give and receive coins. Upright meaning, card shows that money is coming to you. Sweet. It may arrive as a gift or an award and may be donated by an individual rather than an organization. This allows you to pay off any outstanding debt and invest the money wisely into your future. If you have been struggling financially, this card is a welcome sign that your circumstances will certainly improve. Equally, the card can show that you are the benefactor, so you may help a friend in need with a temporary cash flow problem, or you will feel drawn to support a charity that is close to your heart. Whomever you choose to help, you will consider carefully his or her needs and offer the right amount to make a difference. Overall, this card brings genuine support and predicts you feeling connected and close to your usual circle of friends and family. Together, you may be exchanging small gifts of appreciation. An additional meaning is receiving help or money from a person from your past or using savings to help another person. Okay, so that's future card 1, and then future card 2, which is probably cooler because it doesn't mean I'm giving money away, and although it sounded like I might receive money, that's cool. No, I want to give money away, of course. I think we should all give money away, just not have it stolen from us from fucking government. It's like, oh, we'll give it to this place that we think is best, like bombs. What was this? Oh yeah, it's fucking government. Oh, yeah. Sun. 19. Card 19, the sun. So this is future upright. The alternative name, the children. Ooh, I like children. In a sunny walled garden, we are back in what appears to be the earthly paradise of card 6. 6. The lovers. Yet now we are reaching higher levels of consciousness and awakening. With the sun, we are seeing the cosmic light. The child on his horse is ready to return home, uniting his spirit with the spirit of the world. He is open-armed and full of joy, and his nakedness shows him as a child of nature. Psychiatrist Carl Jung saw the archetype as the child as an aspect of our developing personality. In this way, the sun holds echoes of our own childhoods, revealing an opportunity to recapture our early days, an idealized time of innocence and happiness, free for a time from adult worldly anxieties. In this sense, the sun is one of the happiest cards of the tarot, offering sanctuary, growth, success, and happiness. It does sound like one of the happiest cards. I'm an asshole. Fuck me. The sun brings success and achievement and is one of the most positive cards in the major arcana. If you have had a challenging time, the sun shows that every aspect of your life will improve. That's pretty sweet. You'll also enjoy more energy. And if you or someone close has suffered from health problems, Fucking Yom. Sorry. I really like this book, and I'm just being an ass. That's what I don't like about tarot. Though. Like, if I saw this card and I did the reading again, like, years later. But if you read it too much, there's only so many cards. And it's like, hey, that didn't happen. Guys, that didn't happen. Oh, it's gonna happen sometime. The card predicts recovery and a return to good health. Well, that's good. I do hope so. I do hope recovery is swift and maybe even done. Probably done by now. Since now is never. As a card of energy and growth, all your projects benefit now, so the sun heralds a good time to nurture your creative endeavors, your business, and the relationships you value. Let's hope that that is what is happening. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just take a picture. Try out. And I'll just leave it. Okay, so what else? I think I'm just gonna stop. I don't know. Like, it'd be cool to talk to people, I'm realizing. One idea I have is to do a podcast where I basically live out of an RV and just travel. I mean, pretty much all ideas require funds, which is part of the problem with things. Is I ran out. I mean, that's just, I just gotta deal with it, you just gotta hustle. Just gotta hustle. Cause I ain't done shit that deserves some that's funny. It's a weird spot to be. Because I feel like I've done enough. Like, guys. I mean, how many people have lived? I think I've done enough. But I got so much shit to do. I'm definitely not. Like, let me just chill, guys. Can I just be myself for a while? I'm just thinking, it's funny, as I record, I think about people's reactions, and it, like, directs me in ways. I think I need to meditate and actually release things and, like, gain distance from ideas, from people, from things that are distracting me. At least that's how it seems to be. I mean, anything that's not, like, permanently in my life. Like, right now I'm playing video games. I mean, I'm not gonna play this game for ever. So what the fuck am I doing? I want to do things that are more, like, lasting. Which includes relationships, if they're not lasting, what's the point? It's just true, though. See, I got told never which I was not told before, in respect to someone's interpretation of our future together. You know. Alright. So I just gotta let go. Here I am doing a tarot reading, which is what we would do. So I've been trying to reach out to someone. I need someone to talk to. And interestingly, I think I just started talking about this. I always lose track. I talked to Reed, and I was just like, we were about to walk in to play music together, and Jack and Paul left. And I was like, here's my chance. Like, let me tell you what's been going on, man. So in my head, I don't know if you guys know what the fuck's happening. And he interpreted it like, I was like, did you guys look at my work yet? You know, because what else would I be fucking talking about? You know? I'm like, no, I don't. It's not that. Like, I would love it, but that's not what I'm talking about. It's not like in this experience that you're having that is equal in terms of like obliviousness to like everything else. You know, like we don't know what's happening, and but in my experience, what I see is everyone knows what's happening and is fucking with me. On some level, I see that all the time. Like one time I slapped a spliff out of someone's hand when I like in that moment like realized it was just like some shit to smoke in like a movie, you know, and like the feeling I was getting was like purely like programmed in, and it wasn't actually in any way coming from the drug itself. It was just something else, some other layer of reality. And I was real tripping. And but like I really believed in that moment that like they were just fucking with me. And there's times I've been on like shrooms and seen like it was like a movie set was being arranged like in my peripheral. Never like right where I could watch it happen, but like I'd see people moving around in ways that was like literally like holding walls up, you know, like a like a movie set. I'm just like, what the fuck? So some part of my experience is from that angle where I'm like, maybe there's something to this though, and I'm not saying that anyone knows that is actually having that experience individually, but collectively, that's where it's interesting. But then I'm a crazy person because I'm like, so like, I went to a party. I'm like, you guys are fucking assholes. Because they're fucking with me. You know, I'm like so stressed out before the first time I met Reed, actually. I was so stressed out and in my head from this whole experience with all these people that are all like fucking with me because everyone really knows what's up. Because in my perspective, I'm the only, like, what are the odds? I can't stop coming back to that. And then it makes me feel like if you've ever seen, what is the show? Rick and Morty, The Fowler, for instance. Like the way the Fowler is just oblivious, and he's in some one of the episodes. He's in some world with like glitching AI that's like just everyone compliments him and he's just going about his day oblivious, and I'm like, I'm kind of like, that might be what's happening. Some Truman Show stuff, you know. But like, that's not what's happening, I don't think. At least not on our like present experience. Because I wonder, like, if some other time in time we can look back on memories and like if we're consciously aware in the moment that someone's looking in, and we can kind of be more like tapped into that it's happening, and I don't know. I also wonder if when we live our lives, if we're all like, we're living that life together, like this life I'm leading isn't even just me watching, like we're all watching. And maybe one way that could happen is like creating some kind of technology where we can just share memories to such a degree where we share literally lives. Like, I always think it would be really interesting if somewhere down the line we can share memories and really like experience being the person. Because that's what the memory would be, you know, their experience, like genuine. And maybe we can share our whole lives, and maybe like that, wouldn't that be crazy? Because I always wonder if we're all one, you know, maybe we all live the same lives together on some level. We share our memories somewhere in like a real tangible way that's like physical in the physical world, like the story even aligns with us doing it. And then we wake up from those lives and realize we were the other person, you know. Oh, it was that person, you know. Like, always wonder if someone who I have disagreements, I'll like wake up from this life and like realize I'm that person. Wouldn't that be a crazy turn of events in life? To like one day wake up from some technology that allowed us to peer into someone else's mind and experience their lives. But then to wake up from it, just like a dream, and just be like, oh, damn. I mean, that's kind of how it is. Maybe. But not individually, you know? Alright, what else? I got new shoes, that's cool. That's cool. Everyone needs to know that. Everyone's pretty excited about that. My bike tire keeps going flat. It's got holes in the friggin' tire. I need a new tire. I don't know if I've just ridden too many miles in the sun on it. It just seems to like puncture. It might also be the roads here have lots of metal in the bike lanes. Bad luck. Think about if it's representative of just the state of things in my life, kind of tarot like, you know. Because that's the thing about tarot, is it's limited, you know. But life itself, all sorts of circumstances that we can kind of like take a message from. You know. I don't have it bad. So there's 78 cards in that tarot deck. I didn't know that. Didn't know. Alright. Like, oh shit, I don't know what to say. No, this is awkward silence. I'm just gonna be like, fuck it, and just end and leave. And be like, alright, that was a good ending. Pretty satisfied how that went. That was a good one. I got a mixed media drawing canvas packet thing. Nice. Mixed media holds rough surface, holds pigment. Because I thought it would be cool to try to learn to draw children's books. It's definitely something I want to do. Difference between most and infinity is all. I was thinking this line earlier in one of my songs, my lyrics, my poems, because I don't have any music. They're just Def Jam rap or something. That's someone call them. But that's the problem, you know. Gotta give it 100. If you're giving it 99, then there's a little something distracting you. Or try giving it like 50. No, that just ain't gonna work. Shit. I'm totally lost. So now I'm sitting here able to talk because I'm just making a podcast. No fucks. Hey guys. Yeah, I'm awkward. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm saying things I shouldn't say. Cursing. I just want to record the process, you know? I need more stimulation from like the theory of everything search. Where are you guys at? You know, there were all these talks, and then people kind of just moved on. I'm still here, like, hey guys. For fuck's sake, for the love of God, would you just like be like, how about we just like gather all of them out there that we can gather into one place, and you know, like look at them. We can laugh about them, you know. We'll laugh about them. Maybe we'll find something that's not so funny. Getting hit in the head with a fucking rock. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's hard to say what to make of that. It's just hard. Just don't give a fuck, huh? Alright, I'm gonna pause, and this might be the end, and if it is, thanks for watching, listening, whatever you did. If you made it through it all, kudos. I'll be around.